Want to get caught up on the latest, greatest bioprocessing equipment and solutions without putting in travel requests, flying across the country, spending gobs of money and time getting harassed by salespeople? Of course you do. Register for Bioprocess Online's BioExpo Live, being held July 30th through August 1st. This inaugural expo is a fantastic opportunity for biopharma companies and contract manufacturers to evaluate the latest and greatest from the comfort of your desktop or mobile device. Conveniently, we've broken down the lineup into upstream solutions on July 30th, downstream solutions July 31st, and quality analytical and data solutions on August 1st. It's absolutely free to register for this series of short, digestible, and interactive sessions. Just hit the link in today's show notes to register for BioExpo Live today. In the biopharmaceutical business, delivery off the battle. We make tumors go away in petri dishes all the time. And of course we do. The tumor can't escape. Its cells can't multiply. The drug can't escape and go on to wreak systemic havoc. It's a tightly controlled environment. In human bodies, though, the challenges associated with getting a therapeutic molecule to its target and keeping it there, and perhaps only there, are biologic, chemical, physical, and engineering problems that, left unsolved, will never allow biotech builders to bridge that gap from academic exercise to clinical success. I'm Matt Pillar. You're listening to The Business of Biotech, and on today's show, we're talking with a man who's spent the past 4 decades working on the interface between advanced diagnostic and therapeutic products and the human patient, that interface being delivery technology. Eamonn Hobbs is president and CEO at Syncromune, a phase 1 drug/device combination company whose SyncT solid tumor therapy platform combines partial oncolysis of a tumor with infusion of a multi-target biologic drug directly into the tumor. It's a novel approach using novel T-cell science and a proprietary device to deliver the goods. On today's show, we're going to get to know Eamonn, and we're going to learn how Syncromune is building a holistic biotech business that's focused as much on delivery as it is on drugs. Eamonn, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Matt. It's great to be here with you today.
I appreciate you being here with me today. And this episode's not going to drop for a little while, but I especially appreciate you because I know you just came off of a very busy and successful ASCO. So I hope you had a minute to take a breath before you jumped on The Business of Biotech with me, but I'm very appreciative in any event.
Well, thanks very much. Great to be here.
Mm-hmm. As I said, hard to believe looking at you, but 40 plus years in this business, working on this interface that I referenced, the instrumentation and the mechanics that interface drug delivery and diagnostics with the patient, and more so building businesses around that interface. It's a very unique, interesting niche, I would say, that you've built a very successful career in, and I'm curious about how that all got started. I mean, I know you were a bioplastics engineering guy in your undergrad and coming out of school. At what point did you say, this is inspiring enough for me to want to go build a career around, as I said, this sort of interface between biotechnology and human beings?
Well, thanks very much. I am an old guy. I'll be 66 in next week, actually.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, thanks so much. I got into combination drug device and drug delivery innovations through an interesting path. I didn't start out thinking that that's what I wanted to do. And as a matter of fact, I didn't think that biomedical engineering, material science, or even medicine was where I wanted to go. It was very clear when I saw Neil Armstrong put his foot on the moon. I said, I want to do that. I want to be an astronaut.
Really?
And no question. And I studied real hard and did everything I could to put a path together to have a shot at getting into NASA way back when in the 70s. And I got an appointment to the Air Force Academy and ended up entering in 76, which was the first co-ed year for the Academy. So, which was a big landmark. But I thought I was on my way. I thought I was exactly where I wanted to be, when I wanted to be there, and had all the tools necessary to have a really decent shot at being an astronaut. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. I was informed that I had a progressive astigmatism in my right eye and would likely not be flight qualified by the time I graduated. So, which was devastating. I mean, all my hopes and dreams just went poof, just like that. And I had 20/20 vision at the time, didn't have these, and I had to make some really serious life decisions pretty quick. And the Air Force said, you're going to have a great career in the Air Force. Don't worry about all that flying stuff. You'll have a great career in a missile silo or pumping gas for all your pilot buddies.
Yeah.
So I did the only thing I thought was rational and would work for me, and that was eject. And I left the academy, and through really great good luck, I ended up at what was called Lowell Technological Institute at that time, and now called UMass Lowell, which had a great engineering reputation, and more importantly, would take me in the middle of freshman year, which is unusual. So I was an advanced placement student, and so I caught up quickly. And I entered as an electrical engineer because that's what they said I could get into. And my oldest brother was an electrical engineer, and my father was also, along with being a lawyer. So I said, oh, that makes sense. And then once I got in there, I saw that the coolest engineering that was at Lowell Tech was plastics engineering. And I was lucky enough to get into that, and which was an incredible break for me. And then bioplastics engineering became a creation of my own. There was no biomedical engineering at Lowell Tech back then, but they gave me the latitude to kind of make it up as I went along. So I took all the medical courses, pre-med and even grad school courses that the university offered: physiology, biochemistry, molecular biology, et cetera, and just found I loved it. And I thought, hey, maybe I'll be a physician. This is kind of my calling. It appears I'm good at this stuff, and I like the engineering a lot. My brain kind of worked that way, and I was editor of the school newspaper, so I was a writer as well, which is unusual for engineers. I have a lot of engineering buddies, and communication's never been their forte, and they'd be the first ones to admit it. But I being Irish, the gift of the gab. So I thought, well, I'm thinking this is the way to go. Another incredibly good break. I was hired by my first entrepreneur mentor in my career, Bill Cook, who's a legend in medical devices. No longer with us, unfortunately, passed away in 2011, I believe. But he hired me right out of school to come and join his company that was already very successful primarily in cardiovascular devices in Bloomington, Indiana. And I came in and I was pretty naive. I at that time, coming from the Boston area, I thought Indiana was a city in Illinois. So I was pretty young and stupid. Now I'm old and stupid, but I was pretty green back then. And I settled in finally, and Bill really took a shining to me and said, you're doing great, kid. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, everybody called him Bill. I said, Bill, I think I want to be a doctor. And he said, no, you don't. No, you don't. I know you, and what you do is really cool. And that is you have no trouble speaking to physicians and understanding what they need. understanding what they do and what they need. And then you have no trouble communicating that to your engineering brethren back here at the ranch.
Mm-hmm.
You're a very unique individual, and pat yourself on the back. That's a really important thing in the development process of innovations in medicine.
Yeah.
That's what you do, and that's what you really are passionate about. Of course, again, I was young and stupid and arrogant, and said, no, I want to be a doctor. So he said, oh, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll pay for you to go to med school. I'll send you to med school if you give me 5 years after graduation. And I said, done. He goes, but there's a catch. You have to go up to the chief of staff at IU Med Center, who's a dear friend of mine, who's a surgeon by the name of Don Schwarten, and he's going to put you through boot camp. You're gonna be his right hand person until med school starts next season. And if you still want to go, you got it. And if you don't, well, you've had an incredible experience. So I did, and I didn't sleep the entire time. I learned how to sleep with my eyes open, standing up. Don Schwarten was the most amazing individual I've ever come across. Incredibly talented. And I had a crash course in medicine, what it's really like to be a very active clinical physician, a surgeon. And it turned out, when you know it, Bill Cook was right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a physician. Patient care is really hard. And I take my hat off to clinicians who deal with that morning, noon, and night, 7/24, 365. It is an incredible commitment to make, to be competent and then gifted in patient care. Yeah. So I came back to Bill and said, "Okay, you're right. That was an incredible experience, and I got it out of my system. I want to really be that interface between medicine and engineering innovation." And he said, "Great." He said, "You're smarter than you look. Good for you."
That's an incredible story.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, and it's incredible because it sort of comes full circle where you go, oh well, I just happen to have acquired both the engineering and medicine chops, right? Background necessary to build a career around that. So
yeah, it was. I couldn't have drawn it up any better if I tried, and it really the stars aligned for me. So it was marvelous. So I continued on at Cook Incorporated, and Cook was an entrepreneurial venture, and Bill was hitting it out of the park. And today, Cook Incorporated is the largest private medical device company in the world, with billions in revenue, and still family owned. Carl Cook, Bill's only child, is running the show. And Carl and I just caught up a few months ago, and was really phenomenal to see him. He was my summer intern in 1980. So
really?
Yeah, we both come a long way. He's a great guy and very passionate, as you would imagine. So marvelous. But I, again, in the young and stupid category, I looked at Bill Cook and said, hey, this entrepreneur stuff seems pretty simple. I think I can do it. So I decided to leave Cook and go off and start my first medical device business called Hobbs Medical. Learned a heck of a lot. I learned that entrepreneurship is really hard. Mm-hmm. I was a young engineer with a young family, and I had to give up an incredible, steady growth opportunity job with Cook to start my own business and live hand to mouth. And my wife, God bless her, stuck with me, and we got the business off the ground and ended up having a good exit with it. I learned about VC, and I learned about how to position a company for an exit. And I learned about, we were commercial, we were selling devices, and it was all good. One of the companies that bid for Hobbs Medical was a drug company called EZM. And that really was my transition into the world of pharmaceuticals. And EZM was a world leader in GI contrast media and devices to deliver it. So barium enemas and the like.
Mm-hmm.
Howard Stern, my second entrepreneur that I got to work for and was a phenomenal mentor, took me under his wing, and I got a real bellyful of what the combination drug device business is like from a contrast media and delivery device perspective. And back then it was really nascent. It was so nascent, in fact, that GI contrast medias were regulated as devices, not as drugs yet. And when about the day I joined the company, it seemed the FDA made a landmark decision to recategorize GI contrast medias as pharmaceuticals. So I went through the whole transition with EZM from device to drug in a drug device company. Again, incredible experience and painful experience for the organization and for the whole team.
Yeah.
But I got a real ground up education in what it was all about now to develop drugs and to develop drug device combinations. So did well there, and I was I'll skip ahead to founding AngioDynamics, but I decided I was going to start another business, and I got EZM to my buddies Howard Stern and Phil Myers, the founders of EZM, to help finance it. I started AngioDynamics with on the back of an envelope, and it was a hard to believe drug device combination company. Our first two products were that we were developing were a system called Pulse Spray, which was a partnership with Abbott on their abokinase, their urokinase product, which provided an intravascular catheter to deliver the lytic enzyme into the blood clots directly. And this reduced systemic exposure of the drug, which could lead to strokes and other very bad things, and also decreased the lysis time dramatically. So here was a perfect example of how you can take a really great drug, but make it way better with a delivery system and make it safer, make it more effective, and just add all kinds of value without having to develop a brand new drug.
Yeah.
So added a whole new life to abokinase. The other product we were developing was carbon dioxide angiography, using carbon dioxide gas as an angiographic contrast media, an intravascular contrast media. Wild at that stage. Mm-hmm. And at that time, medical gases, including CO2, were regulated as devices. So we and had very broad labeling. Basically, the indications were use CO2 whenever it's appropriate. So it was a pretty broad label to fit in. So it all looked good. So we developed Pulse Spray, had a great run with it at AngioDynamics, and developed CO2. We got our 510K, had a great partnership with Abbott on the Pulse Spray. On CO2, not so fast. We developed a proprietary injection system, really an angiographic injector that was built for compressible fluids like CO2, which would displace the blood in the area of interest, creating a negative contrast zone, and filed that 510K as an angiographic injector with the agency, the FDA, and went through a number of cycles of questions, and got a phone call from the project manager at the agency who said, "Hey, congratulations! I just sent your 510K upstairs for signature, final signature. You should get your 510K notification, in a week or two. Great job, guys." And that was an odd one. Good luck with it. And we were popping corks and thinking everything was great until we got a call from that same project manager who said, "Sorry, this got kicked upstairs for some reason, and it's on hold. Your 510K has been put in escrow," which I was thinking, well, what does that mean? Never heard of that before.
Yeah.
So ended up that David Kessler, the FDA commissioner at the time, and his team had decided that medical gases were going to be recategorized as pharmaceuticals.
Mm-hmm.
So our delivery system was no longer associated with delivering a medical gas device. It was now associated with delivering a drug that was not labeled for that as a contrast media. So we had meetings. I got to meet David Kessler many times because we were kind of a landmark precedent in combination products.